So this this episode of Pub Chat comes to you from outside what would probably have been the most obvious choice for me to do one at the beginning. It's a kind of tap room type, venue type place called Brook. Brook after the lost river of Leytonstone, the Brook. Yeah, and it's interesting as well that I think Simon, the owner of this place, will correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I think Simon got the idea from reading my blog about the Brook, coming across the name. Obviously Brook Road's around the corner, but he had a pop-up at the tube station called Brook, and on the wall he had a map that he told me he got from my blog, and it's the map of the course of the Brook from Weston's history of Leyton and Leytonstone, and I just spotted it inside here as well. So it's lovely to see that map, which I would have given him a high resolution scan. Maybe that is the high resolution scan I did give him. But this place has been open now. It's a former, I think it was a Sea Cadets hut originally, and it's been I think open before lockdown, and then obviously that was a little bit tricky for them, so it really got going after lockdown, and now it's a real favourite for a lot of local people. You can see here what's interesting. You sit outside having a pint. It's been a beautiful day, it's really hot, but I'm obviously sat right on Grove Green Road, which has a certain charm to it. I've sat out here quite a few times with the family. We sort of tend to like sitting out here. You might be able to hear the throbbing music behind me. They've got a festival on at the moment, like a month-long festival called Connections. I've got a beer mat here somewhere with the details. And of course I've managed to lose the beer mat in the course of setting up. No, the beer mat isn't here, but I'll put some sort of link on the video. I'm having trouble with my mic. You'll have to excuse the ramshackle nature of this, but I feel Pub Chat should be a little bit ramshackle. My map's blowing in the wind. I didn't bring the wind thing for my mic, so it might be a little bit windy. Might be a bit of wind noise on here. I kind of oddly like sitting out here doing this. Yeah, on the street having a pint on Grove Green Road, watching the world go past. In the back room there's a big chat about drum and bass at the moment. I think drum and bass in Waltham Forest. It's a really lovely place, Brook. Come here. What I haven't done yet is a walk along the Brook that stops off here. That was always an intention, and I've never done it. Nor have I done a talk here yet about the book or about the Brook. That may change in the Leytonstone Arts Trail with a bit of luck. Pub Chat. Pub Chat, if you're new to the channel, this is a thing I do occasionally. I started it this year where I just sit in a pub, have a pint after I've done a walk, and just waffle, really. But also I like the idea of using it as a little bit of a preview for the coming season of videos. And season, whatever it was, 18 was it? Finished recently with the Regent's Canal. Season 19, or maybe it was season 19, I can't remember. That's about to start, the new one. And that is going to be great. I mean, I kind of have most of the videos already, or if they're not shot, they're planned. Yesterday I did an amazing walk that was suggested by a viewer along Snigs Alley. Straight away, some of you I know are Terry Pratchett fans will get their reference, but it's a place that exists in Terry Pratchett's Discworld. That wind would have been quite unkind to the mic. Terry Pratchett's Discworld, and it also exists on planet Earth. I think it might be the only place, the only name that exists in Pratchett's Discworld that also exists in this real world. Or maybe the Discworld's the real one and this is the fantasy one, I'm not sure. And yeah, that was suggested, and of course it's basically right near where I grew up. Terry Pratchett is from the next village over. But I think actually my dad was telling me he grew up in a place called Knotty Green, which is a few villages away. I think he went to school in Hotspur, which is the village next to ours. And then Snigs Alley runs from basically Loudwater, really close to the house I grew up in, and it runs up to the village of Penn. And I did that walk yesterday. Just took the initiative. I was in the kitchen at about 1 o'clock and thought, I want to be out in the fields. And I thought, I could do that walk. I could do the Snigs Alley walk. So I did, and it was unbelievably gorgeous. It was glorious. It was everything I wanted and more. Got the train to High Wycombe, walked for an hour along the A40, so I wanted to just get on with the walk. Didn't get to the bottom of Snigs Alley until 5. You know, I just took, you know, say I went out spontaneously in the early afternoon, got the train out there, did the walk, went to the Royal Standard of England pub, which I think is one of the pubs that claims to be the oldest pub in England. It's 900 years old, so some of you will know whether that is the oldest or not. There is one in the walls of Nottingham Castle, but is Nottingham Castle 900 years old? Possibly. Possibly. It's a beautiful pub anyway. It's where I spent my 18th in that pub. It was just such a gorgeous walk. And what was lovely, I'm kind of giving it, no, I'm not going to give away, there's a really beautiful thing at the end of that video. It will probably be the next video, or maybe it won't. I have made a video of the trip I made to Ljubljana with my wife, with Heidi. We went to Ljubljana just over a month ago, and Ljubljana in Slovenia, because Heidi actually has like a family connection to Slovenia. That's where her grandparents and her dad was born there. Well, she's got multiple generations. Slovenia is interesting. It's got an interesting history because Heidi grew up in a kind of Italian culture, and they were culturally Italians, but you know, it was a part of Italy that actually had been in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and then it was only Italy for about 30 years between the two wars, and then after the Second World War it became Yugoslavia, and all the Italians got basically kicked out. So they got kind of kicked out and ended up in Australia as refugees. But you know, Heidi's been discovering that element of her family story of actually they're kind of Slovenian really, or they would be if they were there today. Yeah, and it was really fascinating to go there. I'd never been. Heidi's been a couple of times. It was my first visit to Slovenia, first visit to Ljubljana. What a beautiful city. I didn't intend to make a video. We were just hanging out together. But obviously I did, made a home video, and I thought, actually, do you know what, I will share it with you guys at some point. It may just be something I just drop randomly during the week. It could have been the video I upload today. There's so much background noise, isn't it? If this video doesn't get a copyright strike, it'll be a miracle. I'm drinking, but I didn't mention the beer. The beer, you can see, like, it's really cloudy. A lot of beers are cloudy now. And I think a lot of people think, I think what it is beer is naturally cloudy, I think, isn't it? And they put in finings, which I think are fish guts, aren't they? And that clears the beer. So I think they just don't do that anymore. But this is, I think, I'll correct myself if I'm wrong, I think it is Pretty Decent Beer Company, a collaboration with the Brook here. Pretty Decent is in the railway arches. You might be able to see them down there. Those railway arches, Pretty Decent, are just sort of Forest Gate, Leytonstone. I'm not sure technically whether they're in Forest Gate or in Leytonstone, but they're very local. And Brook were originally going to brew beers. I think what they're here on the site, but I think now what they do is collaborations more than actually brewing themselves. So what else do I want to share with you in this rambling pub chat? I did make some notes yesterday when I was out walking, and I thought I would do one. I mean, imagine if I'd done it in the Royal Stand of England, it would have been great. When I did think about it, but it's such it's such a quiet sort of like country pub. And then outside it was really busy in the garden, like the Heathcote down there. What was it? What was I gonna say in the? Can I find my notes? Like a fool, I put my notes on my phone, which is what I'm using to record this. I use the phone to record the pub chat because I think it's more discreet. But of course, my phone is on a tripod. I've got a radio mic on, and people are looking. The good thing about doing it here. Notice when I was sort of filming myself walking down the A40 in Wickham, people were really looking. Do it around here, no one pays any notice. Kind of glance and go, because I could be talking to my family in another country, couldn't I? I could be doing a call like that. I can't remember what was in my list. I think there was some more general notes really about why I did walks like that, the impulse to just go and shoot walks. Somebody left a comment actually, because people go through and watch the back catalogue of videos. Someone was watching a video where I think I just walked from Roydon to Ware through the fields. That was a beautiful summer walk. No real story as such, other than it's another part of the Lee Valley I wanted to walk. That was sort of filling in the map. This guy David actually, who I met a couple of times, and David, he was literally doing that. He was walking the whole of this ordnance. This is actually the Buckinghamshire one. But he was walking every part of the Ordnance Survey map of Epping Forest and the Lee Valley. I don't know if David just still watching the videos, but I was sort of filling in the parts of the map. Anyway, this guy left a comment and he just said, "Oh, I really miss these walks that John used to do, where he'd just go off for a walk and just do a walk." I sort of think, yeah, I kind of miss those videos as well, because I do those walks, but I don't film them. I got into a point where I felt like I needed some sort of focus or narrative, something. Some of you might be watching the videos going, really? I've missed that. But you know what I mean. Things like the Regent's Canal, things like the most eastern point in Greater London, things like the buried rivers in the City of London, the City of London churches. You know, there's a kind of theme. Originally, I used to just film the walk that I was doing. So I think I will reintroduce a little bit more of that from time to time, particularly in the summer. Sometimes I just want to go for a stroll in the countryside, you know, or maybe I just want to go a stroll across London, and it will be what it will be. There might be a bit more of that coming up. The other thing that's coming up in this season is the Alan Moore film that I shot with Ian Sinclair a couple of weeks ago. We went to Northampton to interview Alan Moore for Ian's, we're doing an event for Ian's new book, Pariah Genius, which is a brilliant book. It's one of my favourite Sinclair books already, actually. I'm only halfway through it. It's brilliant. I nearly used an expletive then. It is brilliant. And was that upside down or not? It's so difficult to tell. No, that's the right way up. But we went to Northampton and we did a walk across Northampton to Alan Moore's house, sat down, talked to Alan Moore. Some of you might be going, who's Alan Moore? I hope not, but some of you might. Famous for his comic stories like The Watchmen, V for Vendetta, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, what's the one, From Hell, things like that is what he's most known for. He's kind of renounced the comic book stuff, actually. I've been reading Voice of the Fire, which I've been talking about a bit. It's one of the most astonishing books I've ever read. I kid you not, it's a work of genius. So I was really excited to go to Northampton because Voice of a Fire is the kind of deep topography, the psychogeography, the deep psychogeography of Northampton with Ian Sinclair, and then to sit and record a conversation between the two of them. And that video will be at Swedenborg House on the 23rd of May. I need to crack on with the edit after I upload this. That's what I'm doing this evening, Sunday evening. I'm going to get stuck into it, and I've got 10 days to really make that video, and that video will be up here on the YouTube channel just afterwards. And that's going to be brilliant. Next weekend I'm doing a walk with Professor Kate Spencer. We're going to continue our exploration of the Medway estuary, the Medway. So that will be coming up in May. So that's really, so you could have the Alan Moore video, the Ljubljana video at some point. The Ljubljana might be like a midweek episode, Snigs Alley, and then there'll be at least one more, if not two more. I think that music is telling me that this pub chat has come to an end. Thank you so much for your support. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the coming season. Take care, get out into the beautiful sunshine before it starts raining.